Hi Dipali, how are you?
I'm good, sir. What about you?
Yeah, I'm good too. Thank you for asking. Can you tell us something about yourself?
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Dipali Pramod Dashale. I live in Pune. I born and brought up in Pune only. I have completed my computer engineering from Savitribai Pune University with first class. Currently, I'm working in a Rushi Automation as a software test engineer. In that, my roles and responsibilities are understanding the customer requirement, customer specifications, then writing the test cases, test scenarios, reporting the bugs, tracking the bugs, then again there are executing the test cases, tracking the report of the test cases, like making the RTM, that is requirement testability matrix. Uh, yeah, that's all probably.
Okay, fine. So in your testing skills, it is mentioned that you are doing regression testing, you are doing black box testing, and you are doing database testing as well. So can
Yes, sir.
you, yeah, can you brief me about how you are performing database testing?
Okay. In database testing, we just making sure that all the details or all the suppose we taking example of a login page. Suppose all the details, that is username or password, are entered by the customer, whether all they are saved to the our database, means their conditions, their regulations are all saved with our database. Like if the user is providing the username should have some conditions, like only alphabet, numerics, some special symbols are allowed. The capital letters are also allowed. Whether the user are following these conditions or not. If the condition is okay, then the username is means he is providing the valid username. Also, according to the passwords only, such conditions are like that. Uh, then again, the details provided by the username, that is reflected to our database, whether they are providing any problems or not. We are checking that. Then again, the suppose the he is entering some details. I'm working on the internet banking, that suppose he providing his details, like his address proof, Aadhaar card, and all such details. They are stored in our databases or not. We check that whether it is verified or valid or not. We check all these things.
Okay, okay. So consider a scenario where uh, when we are saving anything on the UI, so it is getting saved, but let's say if some numeric value has to be kept in the UI thing. So in the website UI, you have saved it as a 5 number, but in the database, it is getting saved as 0 number. So is this a defect?
Yeah, it is a defect,
Hmm.
because the number entered by the user or customer, it is not getting reflected as per expectation, so it will be a defect. uh, it is not properly get reflected to our database, so it will be a defect.
Right.
uh, yeah.
And what would be the severity and what would be the priority of this defect?
Okay. The severity is high, I think, and the priority must be high, because the number which is entered by the user is not means we don't the system is not able to reflect that data only, so it is a high priority.
Okay, now consider the same situation, the same scenario. Uh, the value 5 is saved as 0 in the database, but there is no impact on the functionality or the feature. The functionality is working fine, the feature is working fine end to end. So what would be the severity and what would be the priority of this defect?
Sir, can you repeat the question? Your voice is breaking, so I'm not able to hear.
Okay, okay, no issues. I'll repeat this question. So consider
Yes.
a situation where uh, this same scenario is there. You are storing, you are saving 5 value in the UI in the front end,
Hmm.
and it is getting saved as 0 value in the uh, database. Okay,
Hmm.
but the functionality, the feature is working end to end. That is working fine. So what would be the severity and what would be the priority of this defect?
Again, I'm detecting the same, the high priority and severity also must be high, because the data user entered by the user is not saving as per his expectation or as per his uh, uh, requirement. So it will be the high priority, because he want to store 5, but the system reflect that is 0. So it is a defect, sir. It is
If
not
it
as per the user expectation.
right, right, totally agree with you. Defect is there, right? But now,
Yes.
if you see in the first scenario, it was impacting the feature, it was impacting the functionality. The functionality was breaking because of that. So high severity, high priority. Now it is just a
Yes.
defect with respect to the DB value that is being stored. Okay, but the functionality is working fine. So do you think still it is a high priority, high severity defect?
Maybe the priority will be go as it is not affecting our functionality or application, so it will get low priority, but the severity must be high, sir.
Okay. So severity will be high.
So we can resolve this issue by in later stages in next release,
Okay.
because the value expected by the user is not storing as per his specification.
Okay. Okay. So this is an open question to the people. So would it be still a high severity defect or would it be a high priority defect? Okay. Now, in your CV, you have mentioned you are working on weekly status report. So every week you have to send the reports.
Yes, sir.
Mhm. So what all things you are documenting in the report? Are you documenting defects or how many test cases you have written? Can you please tell me something about your weekly status reports?
Yes, sir. In our weekly status report, we send that is the test cases written by we. Also the what are the test cases executed by us? Is there any problem while executing the test cases? Then the test scenarios, what which we covered. Then also the time required for that test cases writing and execution. Then also the where to whom we are reporting that that test cases or that execution. Uh, then also the is there any problem while writing the test cases. uh, all these things are covered in our weekly status.
Mhm. Okay. So when you say test cases, so let's say if some of the members, for example, out of 4 QA members, 2 QA members were on leave, right? So do you mention that as well, that 2 QA members are on leave, so accordingly the test cases are count has come or like that? Do you update the client accordingly?
I didn't get, sir.
Okay, okay. So in the weekly status report, you must be mentioning about the number of test cases that you have written, right? For example,
Yes, yes,
if
sir.
you, for example, if you have 4 QA members, you might be writing approximately 100 test cases, for example, in a week. Now, let's say in next week,
Yes.
2 QA members are on leave, right? So there will be
Hmm.
some reduction in the number of test cases that would have been written. So do you
Yes,
mention
sir.
those things in the weekly status report?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Because the work or the time is also limited.
Hmm.
But one person can do at least 20 to 35 test cases as per 1 week. But the quantity is 100 test cases, but the two are not present. So these conditions are I should include in my weekly status, as well as they can or cannot be know about this. Means if they are aware about this, so I should mention in that weekly status report.
Okay. Now consider a scenario where your test lead or your test manager is on leave. Okay.
Okay.
Version 1 feature has been released and it is running properly in the production. Now you are sitting with the development team members, business analyst is also there, and you are doing a grooming meeting of one of the feature which is to be delivered in the version 2, V2. Okay.
Okay.
So which are all the different things that you will take into consideration at the time of testing estimation that you have to provide, right? As your test leads or test managers are not there, so you need to provide them some test estimation for the user story on which you are discussing, right? So which are the different parameters that you will consider?
In test estimation.
Yes, yes. So in the grooming meeting, now you are sitting along with
Yeah.
everyone, right? Now you are supposed to give some test estimation, right? For the user
Yes.
story, which is going to get developed in version 2, which was a part of version 1. So version 1 is fine, it has been released into production. Now version 2, things are getting discussed, right? So how will
Okay.
you estimate your testing effort? Which are the different parameters that you will consider for giving estimation of testing?
Okay. Firstly, I will look into the specification or customer requirement. If the version 1 is working fine properly, then what will be the next improvements? What things we improve in version 2? What new functionalities we have to add in version 2? I should discuss, or I should give idea about that. Then I will communicate with my colleague team, with my friends. Then I will discuss about that. What should be there to discuss with the whole team, with developer, about the complexity, about the efforts we will need for the version 2. Uh, then again, the test cases or any other test scenarios we have to include in our previous work. So we will all discuss about that.
Okay. Any other thing apart from this?
No, sir.
Mhm. Okay. So let's say if this question is coming to you in a, it's been asked interview to you. So what you can answer over here is you can also take into the consideration the backward compatibility testing. Okay. Let's say
Okay.
things are working fine in version 1, right? Let's
Yes.
say there is some functionality, for example, consider a scenario of some particular page that is being loaded with 50 records that is
Okay.
released and that is in production now with version 1.
Hmm.
Now you are working on a
Yes.
story in version 2 in which from 50 100 users should get loaded, right? So what you have
Yes.
to tell that backward compatibility should work. So first 50 users should display along with next 50 users. It should not happen that altogether new 100 users start getting displayed, or you should not lose any access or any data of the prior previous 50 users that are already there,
Okay.
right? Because that
Yes.
has been entered by the customer in the version 1, right? Customer or client, they
Yeah.
have started using your product, they have started using version 1, and now they are just coming up with some enhancements or some additional features in version 2, right? So this is how backward
Yes, sir.
compatibility plays a very vital role, right? Even if you are not
Yes,
able
sir.
to deliver a new feature in a release successfully, but still the existing features should work as it is with the existing data, so that you
Yes,
can
sir.
answer.
I get it.
Okay. Coordinating and communicating with BA team for better understanding of functional requirements for developing test cases. Okay, so what do you do in this? Like, let's say if any user story you're not able to understand, how do you coordinate with them? How do you communicate with them? Are they sitting with you? Like, is it work from home for you? Work from office?
Now it is work from home.
Work from home?
Yeah, home.
Okay, okay. So how do you coordinate and how do you communicate with them? With BA?
Okay. Uh, the time when I feel any complexity or any inconvenience in working, so I communicate with them, with my Microsoft Teams. I explain the situation, what is the problem for me, and how much effort or how much the complexity is for me to do the task. Meanwhile, I communicate with my colleague. I explain my problem, and if the solution is okay for me, then I will work on that. But if the problem is still there, I will communicate with my BA or Scrum Master. What is the situation? What is the solution for this problem? So I discuss all these things and report to my senior team.
Okay. Now consider a scenario where there is an employee table and you are supposed to get the data from the department column, right? So how will you develop this SQL query?
Okay. First thing I will use the join. Uh, Sir, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, sure, sure. So let's consider a simple SQL table that is available with you, right? Employee table. In that, we
Yes.
have a department column. Now I want to extract the data from department column. So how can I write an SQL query in order to fetch the department columns data?
Okay. Means the we are using the same table, employee
Mm,
table.
mm,
Okay.
yes.
Uh, Select star from
Mm,
means we want to fetch all the data
right.
or only the selected column.
All the data for now.
Okay, then select star from
Mm,
employee,
mhm,
table employee. Uh, uh, Wait a minute. Sir.
yeah.
Select star from employee where the department ID which is specified by some number or any number, means which department IDs whole details we want to show that the department ID will be at the end. Select star from employee where the department ID is suppose 2000. So all the details of 2000 department ID is shown to is shown on the screen.
Mhm. Okay, let me help you over here. I have sent a database picture into the chat. Can you share your screen?
Yes, sir. Just a minute.
Hmm. Let me give you sharing rights. Okay, I've given you the sharing rights as well. It is there in the chat, Zoom chat. Right? Just share your screen. Yeah, yeah. Can you share that DB?
Just a minute, sir.
Yeah, it is there in the downloads, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Now just open that particular image. It is the database image that we were just discussing.
Sir, it is showing the file does not exist.
Have you downloaded it? Yeah, it's there in the downloads. No, I think it is still getting downloaded at your end. Just a second. Uh, just rename it to db1.png. Has it got downloaded right in your machine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just rename it to db1.png. Remove extra characters after that. Yeah, png. Yes. Yeah. Now double click on it. Okay.
So the photos can't be open. It is unsupported.
Yeah. Now is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. And now you need to write a query to fetch the number of employees working in the HR department.
HR department.
Yeah. Now open Notepad or somewhere where you're writing the query. So we can see your query
Oh,
and this image side by side.
Okay.
Let it, yeah, yeah, don't minimize it. Yeah, yeah, let it be. Yeah, now just open the notepad. Yeah. Now, can you write the SQL query?
Yes, sir.
Fetch the number of employees working in the HR department.
Sir, I have to show all the details or only the department name?
So you just have to show the name of the employees which are working in the HR department. Just the name of the employees.
Okay, okay, sir. PF name. Employee info table. Yes, sir.
That's it. Anything else,
Yes.
like how many employees will come, or
As in this table, only two employees having the department as HR.
Mhm. Okay. What if we
Both will
want the
come.
count of the employees? What will you modify in this SQL query if we need count of employees?
We use the functions like count,
Mm-hmm.
count of employee F name.
Okay. What if I write select count star? If I write select count and in the bracket, if I write asterisk sign, what does that mean? Or will it make any
All
change
the
in the output?
if you write star means instead of employee F name, all the details of the that HR department means all the details of the employees who holding the HR as a department, all the information is visible.
Mhm.
It will show by removing the employee F name.
Right. Now, what will you modify in the query if we have to retrieve the first four characters of the employee last name?
Employee last name.
Yeah, yeah. So there is a column, third column, employee L name, last name, right? So we just have to retrieve the first four characters of employee last name. So what modification will you make? Let's say if you take the example of first record, it is Mehra. I just have to
Yes.
extract first four characters, that is MEHR. I won't be extracting a character. So what kind of SQL query will you write?
Sir, I know about the query, but I didn't recognize it yet now.
No worries, no worries. So you can write select substring employee last name, the column name table name, comma 1, comma 4. So that will extract the 4 characters,
Okay.
right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you can stop sharing your screen. Fine. Now consider an application which needs to be tested, and there is an application which needs to be tested, and you are a new person who has just joined the team, right? So how will you approach that particular application? What will be your test strategy? What will be your testing plan? How will you make sure that you get maximum bugs?
If I'm new to the application, if I don't know about the documentation, so I will try the exploratory testing, because I don't know the existing functionality or working of that all the functions. So I will try the exploratory functions. I will check all the functionalities of the application, open all the functionalities of the application, so that I will get to know that the what is the proper function, how it should be work properly, and what will be the defect if the functionality is not working properly. While logging to the suppose I'm taking the example of e-commerce website. So while logging to the e-commerce website, the username password is okay. But the if our application has the OTP section, so the OTP section is not properly working. Means the proper message to the user or customer is not going in limited time, in or we can what we can say that in the proper time span, it is not getting the user. So that will be the defect. So I will log the defect to in our Jira tool. So that will be the defect log. So I will log the defect. So I will try the exploratory testing for that.
Okay, okay, sounds good. So Deepali, I'm done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
Sir, my review, is
Yeah,
it is okay or I need to improve?
yeah, it's good. You are confident, your communication skills are good. You just have to work on SQL queries, right? Because
Yes, sir.
see, with I can see only manual testing thing in your CV, right? You can also uh, you have done database testing, so SQL queries will definitely be asked. It's one of the
I
thing,
need to improve. Yes, sir.
and
Yes.
now you can work on automation as well, right? Selenium automation is
Okay.
there, API testing is
Sir,
there.
I'm learning automation from your channel, as well as my notes are there.
Yeah.
So I'm just working on the automation.
Okay. 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 Thank you
Thank
and
you.
all the best.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.